Welcome to part 3 of making a do-it-yourself wind-powered pond aerator using mostly junk and scrap. Anyways, in my last video I got this thing up and got this made, but then I didn't have my dimensions right on my mount, so I had to make a new mount. So anyways, I got that. I guess the next step is to get this thing put in place and see if this is going to turn it. And then after that I can look at hooking up my hoses and then some sort of aeration stone. There, it's all connected. I just need to put some shims underneath it to get this thing straightened up a little bit and maybe even out my coupling. But well, the sun's going down now, so the wind's kind of died down, but if I get a wind come up, I can see if this is actually going to spin. There, that's looking fairly straight. I've got some other bits that I need to attach to here, and then once I do that I can measure out 50 feet of hose and then get it into the pond and see if it works. Well, once I get a little bit more breeze here. There, I've got my line attached. I cut 50 feet off of it and attached one end to here, and on the other end I have to another one of these valves, which is in this pail of water under a rock. Anyways, once the wind picks up, which is probably too late today, I'm going to see if it does any pumping. One thing I might do is take these apart and take the spring out. I was going to just shorten the spring instead of taking it completely out, just so it holds the valve in place. I do have a little bit of a breeze today, but it's mostly coming from the southeast, and I've got granaries and buildings and a hill sort of blocking it. So it was turning earlier, but it's not doing a whole bunch now. So anyways, I'm gonna just see how that works, and then take the springs out, cut them down, and see if that helps it better. In the meantime, I'm going to get another bucket like this and probably drill some holes into it to make it into an air stone. There, as I'm waiting for a reasonably windy day to see if this works, I just went and added some oil to the crankcase and put the dipstick back in so I don't have rainwater collecting in the engine and causing it to rust, and who knows what else. Almost have enough today, but not quite. It's still blowing from the wrong direction, and got a bit of a breeze in my yard, but nothing down here by the pond. I got a little more wind today, enough to get it turning. It's still not pumping very well, but what I notice is I get a little bit of a leak, especially through that bottom bolt right there. So I think what I have to do is take out the bolts in here and just put some more gasket maker in there and then seal it up. One thing I'm thinking of doing is maybe taking off the springs out of my valves and just see if that helps. And once that gets going, then I can see if I can cut any more leaks. There, I took the springs out of my valves to see if that would help. It didn't really improve it much, because unless the pump's really turning over fast, the valves just stay in one spot and the air just doesn't go anywhere. So what I'm going to do is just trim these down so that they're a little shorter, so they don't put as much pressure on the valve. Anyways, yeah, I put these on a scale and squished them, and they're about half a pound to push it down halfway where it would be in the valve. I figured that the diameter of the valve's 3/4 of an inch, so about half an inch, I'd say, in area. So I think I need about 1 psi to open and close each valve. So I'd have 2 psi just for the valves against me. Considering that the pond's about 10 feet deep and 0.43 psi per foot, I guess that would be about 4 psi I'd need just to overcome the water pressure. So I might need a little more wind or a better turbine. But anyways, I'm going to cut these down, put them in, and see how much it helps. Yeah, that seems to be working pretty good. I think the weather forecast is saying 28 kilometers an hour wind. I'm thinking it's a little higher than that. I should just check this thing, make sure I don't have any leaks. And I think my next step, I don't know if I'll do it today, but will be to get onto my pond with the canoe and see if I can set this up with my air stone. And we'll look for bubbles after that. There, I got my my valve put into my air stone bucket. The next thing to do is I got some rocks in there for weight. I also put a string on there with some marks to see whether it's 12 feet or 10 feet. I guess the next thing to do would be just to, screw down the lid and then get it into my pond. I also put this steel tube onto my hose just as a weight. So once I get into my janky canoe and get out on there, I'll see if I can put this out far enough to keep because I want the line to be under the ice, so that if I have any moisture in it, it will be under the frost level. It doesn't freeze it up. The other thing I should probably do is look at maybe tampering my post in a little bit because it's got a bit of a wobble. Also, the little bracket where the pump motor's on, that seems to be wiggling because it sees a fair bit of torque every time it does a little compression cycle. So I'll probably have to do something to brace that. But anyways, I'm going to see if I can get out on the water. I won't take my camera with me in case I go for a swim, but I'll see if I can get on the water and get this stuff set up. There, though I'd like to get on the water and finish getting that set up, I was able to push my bucket a little bit onto it. But yeah, I'll get into the canoe and get it dragged so I can get into the middle more. Anyways, before I do that, I figure I better get this braced a little bit before it comes apart, because although it is fairly windy today, this isn't much compared to what we can get. I jammed in my hole a little bit, so this won't wiggle as much. I managed to get it a little further out. I'm not sure how many feet that. I think that's about 4 feet deep there. I got a lot more hose I can go, and I got to get my my weight a little further out too to weigh down the hose. Probably wait for a calmer day before I make another voyage in the old leaky beast. But we're almost there. There, perfect day for a little canoe trip on the pond. Let's see here. I haven't. Oops, don't want to lose my camera. There we go. There, I guess it's in about 8 feet of water here. It's not quite the center of the pond. Actually a fair distance from it. I might have to, maybe in the future, see if I can get a longer hose on this. Yeah, I've gotten the pipe a little further out, so it should keep the line mostly under the ice. I'm just going to bury the rest of it in some rocks and that. So I think I'm going to end this here and call this a success. Maybe maybe in part 4 I'll see if I can rig up another one and see if I can come up with a better turbine design. But in In the meantime, I think I'll just leave this here.